So Nyck Harbor, I know that in his first of all, Nyck said I'm gonna NIL wherever I go. I've said that before,
Which is
and
true. Which is
which is
true.
absolutely true,
Some of
right?
these
I mean,
guys, yeah, some of these
yeah,
guys are going to get NIL regardless
yeah,
of where they go.
yeah. He's one of those dudes where you could have no NIL initiative at all, and he's still gonna thrive. So it's
Yeah.
just I continue to think that the track piece will will wield more influence. I mean, that's not to say that you can't you could approach him and have no NIL game plan at all. That's a no go. I mean, you at least gotta sort of lay out a blueprint for him, and I think that's been done by all the institutions, right? About what it would look like if he went to their respective school. Michigan was down at his school. I want to say Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Bellamy was in DC. His recruitment is going to be longer to play out. So you want to save when you get your head coach in there because he's not going to be deciding until the next signing period. But I will say this to sort of revisit my handicapping of the race. Before I thought it'd be LSU would rise up and maybe be the biggest threat. Maybe SC at the end if things kind of picked up steam like they back to where they had been in the summer. But yeah, I'm a buyer that is South Carolina. That the South Carolina, the that they've been able to sustain the momentum that they picked up suggests to me that they are the biggest threat to Michigan right now. They've done a heck of a job recruiting him. Shane Beamer, the personal touch. Heard Nyck talk about that. The whole staff recruiting effort. Right now, he went down the game he went to. They got destroyed, but they recovered. Right, they've recovered to go on and have a nice season. You saw what they were able to come out, how they were able to finish the season. Spencer Rattler really stepped up there, so they have some things to sell. But I think maybe even bigger, and I keep hearing some track buzz there, and checking with people more versed in the track aspect of things than I say. Is their track program better than Michigan? Even checking with some people in Nick's circle and saying, no, it's not. Their track program isn't better than Michigan's at all. At least not from their perspective. Now I don't know what the rankings say, but from the perspective of the people around Nyck, it's not like discernibly better at all. What might be the case, and this is what I got to check into, some rumblings that there's a DMV contingent on the track side, whether there be guys that they're recruiting, guys and girls that they're recruiting, or ones that are already there, that might be resonating with themselves. So that's one of the things that we're digging into right now to see if that's something that's sort of helped vault them. But I say all of that, still believing that Michigan is a team to beat in that race. That continues to be the vibe that I'm getting from those around him, very close to him, those who are privy to the recruiting going on and talk to coaches. Um, I think that the sentiment being expressed from inside is that Michigan still has a leg up. Not a slam dunk. And I think how Michigan finishes out this class and maybe how they start the next one could be a factor. Because what if you had a 5-star quarterback? That was a part of it. Now, JJ McCarthy is a part of the next year, right? But Nyck Harbor, if if he finishes this season, like I think he's going to finish it, and has the season next year that I think he's going to have, he's gone. So that means that's only 1 year Nyck Harbor. And so Nyck has to be like, okay, well, what about after JJ? What about after JJ McCarthy? What if you were able to add a Jaden Davis? I think Jaden Davis, I think Michigan, I put this on the board, is inside the 10 with Jaden Davis. I put in a crystal ball a little while ago, following Steve Wilfong, because I got to get my own. I got to do my own chasing. And I put a crystal ball level of a confidence level of 7 on it. I think Michigan is at the stage now where it's about like, hey, now it's the closing. It's closing time. I don't know how that song goes. Isn't a song that says it's closing time?
There is.
There
There
is.
is.
There's one that says that. I don't know it. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's closing time for Michigan, man. And Jim Harbaugh, Matt Weiss, and Ron Bellamy at Charlotte Providence Day today, right? So you get with the coaches and the teachers and all of that, and you do some English checking in on the guy. And then I think it'll be a matter of, finishing things out with the conversations they have with Jaden, with his family about the opportunity at Michigan. I think the other thing that, like you talk about with all these guys, your NIL blueprint, what it looks like for different guys, not actual deals on the table, but what the opportunities look like. And this is where JJ McCarthy comes in again, Bryce, because you said it earlier in the show about the kind of recruiter he is. JJ McCarthy has played a pivotal role, and the McCarthy family, they played a pivotal role in Michigan making the strides with Jaden Davis that they made, right? So he's come to campus. Certainly, he likes the NFL pedigree of the coaching staff. He likes the vibe. He likes the opportunity. But you got a guy who you trust and respect that's vouching for them. He being JJ McCarthy, they being the McCarthy family. The Davises and the McCarthys go back to before Jaden was a Michigan recruit, when Jaden was weighing his high school future. And so the families got really close in that time, and they were, using them as counsel. They were looking at IMG in some different places before they settled on Providence Day. And so when he became a Michigan recruit, it's like, oh man, well now we got somebody on the inside that we can talk to. And so they talk all the time. When the Davises come on visits, and I think they've been in 3 games this year? Is it like 3 games? It was the Hawaii game, the Michigan
Uh,
State. It was
Michigan State,
Michigan State. So it's at least 2 games.
at least 2.
At least 2. And I think there's a third one in there. He's been here at least 4 times. I know, right?
Right.
So I mean, they would come up on campus, and it's go hang out with the McCarthys at their little tailgate, man. Right? Those are their people. So why is that important? If you want to get a feel for the NIL possibilities, who do you talk to? Who do you talk to? You talk to JJ McCarthy. Now that's a private thing. A school can't go out and say JJ McCarthy is making this much, right? Because JJ doesn't have to tell them at the end of the day how much he's making. They don't have to. They don't even have to, be privy to all of the dollars and cents, right? But to the extent that they know, to the extent they have that information, they can't share it. They can't go tell Jaden Davis exactly how much JJ McCarthy's making, but JJ McCarthy can. Jim McCarthy can talk about the kinds of opportunities JJ's had. And while I don't think that they are too keen on going and sharing that information all over the place and having it out in the atmosphere, these are family friends. And this is a situation where I think they would feel a little more comfortable in sharing it. And so that can be a major, major assist for Michigan. When I went down there, he said he'd like to have this decision made sooner rather than later because he was tired of the process. And so I think that there's a good chance that my gut tells me that this is leaning towards being over before the new year, and that Michigan is in the pole position, Bryce. So that'd be a great way to start off 2024, right? And it'd be in time to help recruit Nyck at the end of the 2023 cycle, right?
Goes hand in hand. Goes hand in hand for sure. For sure. And like you said, I think you made a great point with JJ. And because out of anyone with NIL, he's going to be exactly in his shoes. Let's say he does become the starting quarterback at Michigan in a couple of years. He's going to know exactly what JJ was going through because he's been talking with JJ and his family for how many years now?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing, man. That's a really big thing. And you talk about with this class, this 2023 class, they've had several guys definitely try to recruit and try to help build the class, but it's just not the same. When you had JJ kind of as the flag holder of the class, you saw what he did. He brought in Donovan Edwards, who
Yep.
that was a very contested recruitment all the way to the very end, and several guys wanted to play with JJ. I think if Michigan can land Jane Davis, they have a very legit shot of not only having a top 10 class, but a top 5 class of how they've already started before Jane Davis, you know? And that's not even to think about the possibility of Chan Goodwin, Jordan Chip, several other guys from the same high school he goes to. David Sanders, Sam, who's the number one player in the 2025 class.
Ball
Talk
player,
about who could help
ball player,
there too.
ball player,
So
and those 2 are tight. Those 2 are
it's
tight.
something to think about. It's something to think